Kohalo Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors goes to the men of GMS who have brought out this word with all truth, sincerity, and to the salutations to the Akim that are out there in the byways and highways, and to the Akwaf that are at home listening and learning. To the 1/3 scattered elect of Yasharala, to you I say Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Sasyar Shari Yashashakar coming at you with another edifying video for our people Israel, which are the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American, and Seminole Indians. Alright, getting down to the point, got some interesting things here. Was listening to some of the brothers, one of the brothers talking. I'm going to start off with some scriptures, of course, and to give, Yahweh praise. Scriptures and an actual document. Supporting what their scriptures are saying. I'm going to start with Ezekiel 36:5, King James Version, 16:11. It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen." Okay, so he's speaking to the non-Israelites, the heathen, and against the and against all Idumea. So we've got which the Idumeans are the so-called Edomites, so-called Caucasians, the heathen, and against all Idumea, which Idumea is a Greek word for Edom. Idumea named their place after them. Scripture says that they named their places that they conquer after themselves. So Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possessions with the joy of all their heart. So I'm going to read up to there again. So this is the point that I'm making, that I'm going to be bringing up with this documentation. Ezekiel 36:5, King James Version. "Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against," not for, but against the residue of the heathen, "and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for prey." So right now, the Lord is saying that these people took possession of His land because the Lord has a favorite land, a favorite people, favorite tree, a favorite bird, favorite fruit, what have you, favorite this. He has His favorites, His favorite river. And so He said these people took possessions of His land with joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. It's like leaving out the real Israelites out of their own homeland, and they took it upon themselves to claim it and call it after themselves and say, this is our land. So that's the presence that I'm going to be setting with the scriptures supporting this document. This is a document that you might have heard of before, you might not have heard of before. It's called the Balfour document. Salakia. It's called the Balfour Declaration. It's from the Foreign Office of November 2nd, 1917. And it says, now don't forget Ezekiel 36:5 about Idumea and the heathen, the way they reacted. It says this, "Dear Lord Rothschild." So I gotta stop right there and talk about that word, Rothschild. Everybody's heard of that word, Rothschild. Rothschild, if you look it up, it's German background, which really literally means red sign or shield. With red sign or shield, Rothschild. And literally, it's red sign or shield, Rothschild. Roth is red, child, shield, or sign. You go back to Genesis 25:25, it's letting you know who these people are. And the first, Genesis 25:25 says, "And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment." Not because he was hairy all over. No baby is born hairy all over like that. It says like an hairy garment. And they called him Esau. Esau is Edom. Genesis 36:1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Again, Genesis 36:1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. So what race of people, again, until we beat it with a red stick, what race of people is born red? What race of people is born red? The Edomites, which are the so-called Caucasians, what y'all call white people. So anyways, and it says, and it goes over. I mean, it goes on through their generations, all of Esau's generations, house of their fathers. They're born red. It is the house of your fathers that determines your bloodline, not the mother. It's the house of your fathers. Look that up in Numbers 1:18. So anyways, Rothschild means red sign or red shield. Rothschild, a red child. And speaking about the name Rothschild, there is a Latin phrase. It's a Latin proverb, which I'm going to pronounce it the best way I can. It's nomen est omen. It's a Latin proverb, ancient Rome, that predictive power of a person's name was captured. Basically saying that there was there's meaning behind someone's name. It's like related to what that person's name is or what that person's action is. Like in scriptures, they will always say, what is your name? What is thy name? Like Legion, for we are many. Well, there it is, Legion. Why? Because there are many spirits, many demons. When the mother of Samson met an angel, she went home and spoke to her husband. Her husband asked him for his name. So she did. And the angel was saying, why do you want to know my name? There's power in a name. There's significance in a name. There's meaning in why someone or an angel was named what their name. Gabriel, Michael. There's a reason why they were named that. There's a reason why we name our children what we named them. Ultimately, man's goings are of the Lord. So whatever you name him, it's what the Lord wanted you to name your child. So anyways, nomen est omen is a Latin proverb, basically saying it's like a predictive power of a person's name that was captured in that person. So many years ago, we know, because Esau Edom is red, that Rothschild, he's an Amalek, that he was going to be known as the red child. And who's the red child, red shield in Genesis, in the biblical scripture? Esau Edom, letting you know who these enemies are of the Lord. Esau Edom is red, the so-called white people, the fake Jewish people, the fake Jews that are in Israel. They're Amalekites. I thought that was real interesting, and that power predictive of a person's name. So going on, it says this is a letter that was written, and the name of this letter again is the Balfour Declaration, November 2nd, 1917, and it says this: Dear Lord Rothschild, there you go. Esau Edom is red. Dear red child, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty's Covenant the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. Now it says here, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His fellow Majesty. And Ezekiel 36:5, we read, the heathen against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possessions with joy of all their heart. And they're going to be speaking about this. It's not just that he's happy. What is he happy about? That he's writing to Rothschild. It says this: His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. They're talking about a possession of lands, and he's giving it to him. He's letting him know with all gladness of heart, just like the scripture says. This was in 1917, the World War I. And it says, let me see, lose my place. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine for a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to felicitate of achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may be prejudice that the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Yeah, it's basically letting you know, I think his name was Walter Rothschild, I forget, that, hey, we got this land, it's for you, let your people know it's going to be for you all, for the Zionists. But they aren't Zionists. They have no bloodline to Israel. They have no bloodline to Jacob. But this was the letter declaring, making Ezekiel 36, let's see, Ezekiel 36:5 come true. Basically letting him know that, hey, this is your land and it gives him great joy. Let all your people know that you will have your land. It's for you. Well, that's all I have for now, but I thought that was real interesting. So, Koholo Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the men of GMS who have brought out this word with all 100% truth and sincerity, and to the Akim that are out there in the byways and highways, salutations, along with the Akwaf that are learning, and the 1/3 of Yasharallah. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah, Kwam Yasharallah.